Welcome to Spooky History. In today's episode, we're investigating what may be the most famous occult item in history, the Ouija Board. Picture this, a charming house party, finger foods on the tables. Ew, don't finger food. Drinks flowing, everybody ready for whatever game the host may bring out this evening. This is sounding more and more like a 70s party with the keys in the bowl and all that. The host stands smiling as she opens the board game cupboard, revealing all the classics: backgammon, Monopoly, Risk, and a new game. The new game comes wrapped in black paper. The host turns to the other partygoers. Hey, how about we try something a little different this evening? The black box is gently carried to the table as the lights are dimmed and a space cleared. In the centre of the table, the host places a strange-looking board covered in symbols and letters. One word stands out, a word they have never seen before: Ouija. A triangle with a viewing lens is brought out of the box and placed upon the board. All too quickly, what was once a light-hearted gathering of board game enthusiasts has become a descent into occultism. It's my kind of party. What once was games of whimsy has now fallen to necromancy, which is actually a word meaning communication with the dead. In film, we find The Exorcist, What Lies Beneath, Paranormal Activity, The Ouija Experience, I Am Zozo, Ouija, and even Ouija Origin of Evil, all brought to you by the company that brings you Transformers and My Little Pony. The monsters at Hasbro. Yeah, the Ouija board's owned by Hasbro. But before we start ranting about how the occult has technically funded our childhoods, perhaps it's better to start from the beginning. So with its current owner in mind, Ouija board transform and roll out. It's a Transformers reference, isn't it? I never watched Transformers. I was a He-Man kid. One of the first mentions of the automatic writing method used in the Ouija board is found in China around 1100 AD in historical documents of the Song dynasty. The method was known as fuqi, or planchette writing. The use of planchette writing was a means of necromancy and communion with the spirit world, and this continued under special rituals and supervisions as a central practice of the Kanzhen school until it was forbidden by the Qing dynasty. As a part of the spiritualist movement, mediums began to employ various means for communion with the dead. Following the American Civil War in the United States, mediums did significant business in allegedly allowing survivors to contact lost relatives. The Ouija itself was created and named in Baltimore, Maryland in 1890, but the use of talking boards was so common by 1886 that news reported the phenomenon taking over the spiritualist camps in Ohio. So where did the name come from? Where did the idea come from? The specific Ouija board? The origins of the name Ouija are a tangled set of stories, all of which are believed by different groups. The commonly held story is that Elijah Bond had the idea to patent a planchette sold with a board on which the alphabet was printed, much like existing talking boards. Bond filed on 28th of May 1890 the patent for protection and is credited with the invention of the Ouija board. The issue date on the patent was 10th of February 1891. An employee of Elijah Bond, William Fuld, took over production of the boards and in 1901 started making his own boards under the name Ouija. Charles Kennard, founder of the Kennard Novelty Company, which manufactured the boards, claimed Fuld learned the name Ouija from using the board and that it was an ancient Egyptian word meaning good luck. When Fuld took over production of the boards himself, he would share the more widely accepted story that the name came from a combination of the French and German words for yes. It's the Yes Yes board. Fuld's name became synonymous with the Ouija board as Fuld reinvented its history, claiming that he had invented it. These two origins recently became contested by a third narrative. Helen Peters Noseworthy was recently documented as the woman who actually gave Ouija its mysterious name. Her identity was discovered in a series of letters that were printed in the Baltimore Sun when the founders of Ouija, Kennard and Bond specifically, took their beef with each other public, and it was medium rare. The writer's wife suggested that joke was a bit tough to digest, but he thought it rather well done. DANOV, you're fired. In any case, the letters declared that a woman by the name of Miss Peters, Bond's sister-in-law, had asked the then unnamed talking board what it would like to be called. Miss Peters was known among her peers as a strong medium. According to Miss Peters, the board spelled out the infamous word O-U-I-J-A, and when asked what the term meant, it responded, "Good luck." Helen, who was also an early stockholder in the company, would later accompany Bond to the patent office to help secure a patent. According to the family, verified by patent file histories, the patent office declined to award a patent to the talking board unless the founders could adequately demonstrate its powers. Helen and Elijah then travelled to Washington, D.C., where the chief patent officer eventually took an interest in the device. As the story goes, he assured the pair that if the board could spell out his name, unknown to Bond and Peters, he would award them a patent. The board apparently did exactly that, and the rest is history. So that's actually where Ouija comes from, not the more commonly told Hasbro story. So how do Ouija or spirit boards work? In order to break the process down, we'll go through Hasbro's own instructions and add a few additions and clarifications. Ouija knows all the answers. It furnishes never-failing amusement and recreation for the entire family. Ouija gives you entertainment you never experienced. It draws the two people using it into close companionship. It is unquestionably the most fascinating entertainment for modern people and modern life. Correction. Spirit boards aren't just for two players. It is just with the relatively small size and need for all participants to place fingers on the planchette, they work easiest with two. It's just a space thing, unless you have one of those comically large movie planchettes. And yeah, getting all close and personal with somebody may well draw you into close companionship. That and conducting rituals to contact the spirit world, Netflix and chill be damned. The letters, words and symbols on the ultra-smooth Ouija board hold a universe of secrets just waiting for you to uncover. To find the answers you seek, use the Ouija board with the glow-in-the-dark message indicator, also known as the mystifying oracle planchette. The planchette rests on three legs and has a round window in the pointer. It is through this circular lens that messages are spelled out on the board. Ultra-smooth. This isn't your mother's spirit board, this is Hasbro's ultra-smooth spirit board. That registering of the mystifying oracle was certainly no mistake either. This is all marketing hype. To begin, place the planchette on the board. Sit opposite a partner with the board resting on a table between you, or with knees together. Place the board atop your combined laps. Then you both place your fingertips lightly on the planchette as you ask a question. The planchette may glide across the board, spelling out surprising messages. That's basically the mechanics of it, completely bypassing any spiritual elements, mental preparation or even set dressing. Shame really. How or why it works is a mystery, but millions of people have enjoyed using it. Millions? Enjoyed it? Those are bold words. Those who have been successful suggest you should relax and concentrate on one question at a time, then allow 1 to 5 minutes for the planchette to start moving. If nothing happens or the message makes no sense, ask something else. Keep an open mind to the possibilities of the Ouija board, and don't be discouraged if your first session is more experimental than enlightening. It will still be entertaining. Will it though? Even for those who believe in the use of spirit boards to contact otherworldly entities, the use of spirit boards isn't really something fun. It's generally either genuine spiritual work, which requires concentration, effort, and isn't an entertaining novelty, or a scam, which requires concentration, preparation, and isn't generally entertaining, though both have some degree of anticipatory thrill. Is the Ouija board a mysterious portal to your subconscious thoughts and feelings? Might it bring you answers from the great beyond? Or is it just a game? Ask the Ouija board and find out. Now that's just circular logic. With Hasbro's instructions, where does that leave the current audience of the spirit-speaking spooky board? Among believers, the use of spirit boards is often seen to be racked with peril. Occultists on the internet, that most stable and sure of sources, provide many different rules and warnings about the board that you won't find in Hasbro's instruction booklet. Here is a short list of the ones that our writer DANOV found particularly intriguing. If a spirit starts communicating with you through the board by counting down or going through the alphabet, immediately end the session by saying goodbye. This is a common theme in Ouija users who have contacted a malevolent spirit that is trying to leave the board. If a spirit starts communicating with you by making the planchette make a figure 8 or infinity symbol, immediately end the session by saying goodbye. This is another way malevolent spirits have revealed themselves. If you speak to a spirit who identifies themselves as Zozo, end the session and say goodbye immediately. Zozo has been identified as a malevolent spirit. Don't use the Ouija board in a cemetery. Aww. If you are experiencing depression, it may be good to avoid using a board. Aww. That kind of energy draws in malevolent spirits. Never burn a Ouija board. This can do more damage than simply leaving it untouched in a closet. If you are having problems with a Ouija board, store the planchette and board separately. But the controversy did not end with the occult community, far from it. Since early in the Ouija board's history, it has been denounced by numerous Christian denominations. The Catholic Church explicitly forbids any practice of divination, which includes the usage of Ouija boards. Catholic Answers, a Roman Catholic Christian apologetics group, states that the Ouija board is far from harmless, as it is a form of divination, seeking information from supernatural sources. Catholic bishops in Micronesia called for the boards to be banned and warned congregations that they were talking to demons. These religious objections to use of the Ouija board have in turn given rise to folklore in communities where they circulate. Cautionary tales that the board opens a door to evil spirits turn the game into the subject of a supernatural dare, especially for the young. And that's why we have all those films. So while filmmakers may well love the board and the stories it allows them to tell, how do the skeptic and scientific communities view the world's least efficient typewriter? The vast majority of the scientific community consider the workings of spirit boards to be the result of the ideomotor response. Michael Faraday first described this effect in 1853 while investigating table turning. The ideomotor response, bluntly put it, is where the human body will tend to move unconsciously towards whatever it is currently focused on. Various studies have been conducted recreating the effects of the Ouija board in the lab, showing that under lab conditions, the subjects were moving the planchette involuntarily themselves. Classic ideomotor response. The unconscious muscle movements responsible for the moving tables and Ouija board phenomena seen at seances are examples of a class of phenomena due to what psychologists call a dissociative state. A dissociative state is one in which consciousness is somehow divided or cut off from some aspect of the individual's normal cognitive, motor or sensory functions. Urban legends, ancient scrying, fights over patent and manufacture, disputed by science, distrusted by the occult, Ouija boards have a massive cultural presence and are unlikely to fall completely from the public eye in the near future. What do you think about them? Tools of evil waiting to ensnare, or hokey parlour games for the unwitting rubes? We hope you enjoyed that episode of Spooky History. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos. You can support us with donations at paypal.me/noisyghostent and find us on most social media at Spooky Hist Show. Thanks for watching and please do have nightmares. Goodbye.